Hi everybody, I'm JT. Welcome to another video from me here at Campervan Journey, and today we're off to do something very exciting. We are going to be hiring for a few days a Grand California from Breeze Campers in Portsmouth. Let's go and collect it. Okay, so we've had a good drive across, not in Portsmouth, it's really sort of Havant on the outskirts in a nice new industrial estate. Breeze have got a very nice new showroom down here for their commercial vehicles, so we're going to get ourselves checked in and we'll have our introduction to the Grand California, and then we'll be able to head off for our trip away. Very exciting. Very kindly given us one with these solar panels, so hopefully we're going to see the benefit of that this weekend if the sun continues to shine. I do like this two-tone paint finish. No LED lights though, which would be an absolute must if we were ordering one, but apparently there's been shortages on the components at the factory. So Shafi has just introduced us and walked us around the Grand California that we're going to be using for the next few days. Thank you, Shafi, for giving us such a comprehensive explanation of the controls. It's not just Grand Californias that they rent out here, so there's also normal Californias and crafters as well, I think. Yeah. So if you're in the area and looking for something of that type, then definitely give the guys at Breeze a call and they will look after you. So we're looking forward to trying it out, so thanks very much for the explanation. No problem. Fingers crossed I won't need to call you with any questions at 10 o'clock on Saturday night.
That's fine.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks, Shafi.
No worries.
So Shafi has given us a very comprehensive walk around and explanation of all of the controls, and combined with his thorough explanation, and also he's very kindly put QR codes for all of these things throughout. Hopefully we won't have too many dramas over the next few days whilst we're enjoying the 600. So next trip, or next job, is to head home, get ourselves all loaded up with the kit that we're taking away for the next few days, and we are heading off to the beautiful Gower Peninsula in South Wales. And hopefully the weather is going to stay just like this. So let's fire up and get on our way. The only thing I'm going to have to get used to is it's a bit of a climb up for my little legs. So we're off. You must remember it's a lot bigger than our California. See you on Monday. Okay, so on our way back after picking the Grand California up, and if you've been following the channel for a while, you'll know that we test drove one of these it's been about 2 months ago now, and we only really had a short drive, didn't get a chance to do that many miles, but driving around fairly urban roads around Sandbanks and Poole. So this is the first time that I've driven one on a motorway, and I have to say I'm pretty impressed. The steering's a lot lighter than in our California. The road noise and wind noise is very well suppressed, and I know we're not loaded up yet with cutlery and plates and things like that, but there's very few rattles and squeaks, which is again a reassurance for the build quality, interior build quality of something that's factory built rather than a conversion. So these are all things that being able to rent something before you buy it, I think are really, really important. Gives you a good chance to find out whether you're going to like it or not. So very early days in our trip. We're going to head back to Salisbury, get ourselves all loaded up, and then head off to the beautiful South Wales coast later on today. We've made no plans, no bookings, no arrangements on this trip. So again, taking full advantage of the facilities that the Grand California's got. We've got a solar panel on the roof. We'll see where we end up later on today. Bigger van means bigger fuel tank, which means more fuel. On the trip from Portsmouth to Salisbury, the trip display has shown 35 to the gallon, which I think is really cool. Better than anticipated, but we'll put some fuel in for the trip down to Wales and see how we get on. The deal with the fuel supply for the rental is just replace what you use. So we picked up the van with half a tank of fuel, so as long as we return it with half a tank of fuel, then that's the requirement. And there's no allowance for mileage as well, because we're taking it just for a few days. We can do as many miles as we like. We'll probably do about 400 or 500, I think. I don't actually know how big the tank is. I need to look in the book, but I imagine it's a bit bigger than the 60 odd litres that are normal Californians. So I've just put £50 in. It's 144 litre here in Salisbury, which is pretty good at the moment. And that £50 has taken us up to just under a full tank. So Ben's just reckoned that we're probably looking at about an 80 litre tank. So, but yeah, 50 quid for half a tank, which is expensive, but perhaps a little bit better than I thought it was going to be. So one of the first jobs before we head off later is to fill up the fresh water tank. One of the things that Shaf said whilst we were down at Breeze collecting the van was obviously if you fill it up, the tank takes 100 litres, you're carrying extra weight, so could affect the fuel consumption. So if you're a bit particular on that, then that's something to consider. Our hose adapter nestles in really nicely into there, and then inside the van on the display there is a readout as to where we are on the water level. So let me show you that now. Here we go. So on the control panel, not sure if you can see for the flickering, but we're currently at 62%, just filling up 63%. And then that should give us plenty of water for washing, showering and such like over the weekend. I guess it's probably not advisable to be drinking the water from the onboard tank unless you've sterilised a tank yourself. I don't know what the general thoughts are on that, but drop me a comment below to let me know your thoughts. I'd be interested to hear what people typically do. But we're going to take some bottled water with us for drinking and pop that into the fridge. So far, all good. I had a good drive back from Portsmouth back home. I said popped half a tank of fuel in for about £50, which is not that much different to what we'd be spending on filling up our regular California. So it'd just be interesting to see how different the fuel economy is and how accurate that display is. On a longer run in our California beach, typically we would get around about 37, 38 to gallon, sometimes push 40 on a trip. So with this van, if I can get 35, I think that's a real win, but realistically I think it's probably going to be closer to 30, but we'll see how we get on, and obviously I'll keep you updated. So as part of the kit for the rental van, Breeze kindly supply all of the bits and bobs that you may need whilst you're away. So we've got a gas bottle, we've got a hookup cable, a box full of crockery and tea towels and things. Okay, so we have spent about an hour or so finding all the little nooks and crannies in the Grand California and getting ourselves all loaded up, and we'll be off on our mini adventure down to the Gower Peninsula in hopefully about 20 minutes. As I said earlier on, we haven't booked anything, so we are winging it in true van life style. We're going to try and find a park up for the night. We've got a couple of things in mind, but we will see when we get there. One of the whole points of trying out this van was to see how easy it was just to arrive, set up and be self-contained. So fingers crossed that's going to go to plan. Otherwise we'll be spending the night in a Tesco's car park somewhere, but hopefully that won't be the case. But that's what the whole point of renting one is, to see how we get on before we spend the significant outlay on replacing our current van. So stay tuned if you want to see how we get on, but hope you're enjoying it so far. I think we are.
I am. Are you?
I am.
Good.
So, how about that for a view from our parking spot? Right on the front, overlooking the bay. Happy with that, my love?
I think so.
Happy with that. Fantastic view from where we're parked up in the van. And just coming back to the van from a day out, it's been really nice to come back. We're used to coming back to our California at the end of the day, and it's been really nice to have somewhere to sit and make a drink and just spin the seats around and put the table up. But in here, because there's even more space, that's another real advantage, I think, for us for changing to another van. So that's one of the big reasons why we wanted to rent one, to find out, to try before we buy. And it's being able to experience that has proved, I think, really, really valuable. So that's another big tick for the rental scheme that Breeze are offering, to give us a chance to find out whether it's the right thing for us before we commit a lot of money to potentially buying one. Had a chap just come over and we wanted the contact details off the back of the van because he was thinking of buying one when he retired, and again just wanted to try before he bought to see whether it's worth doing. So again, that just seems to be a really good way to experience. So if you're thinking about that, or not sure, or you just fancy a great weekend away, then it's definitely worth getting in touch with the guys at Breeze Campers and making a booking. But
they're very helpful.
They are very helpful.
And very nice.
And very nice, yeah. Okay, so through the magic of television, as they used to say, we're now back in Salisbury after a few days away, enjoying the hire of this Grand California. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and it gives you a little bit of an explanation as to the benefits of hiring one of these vans from Breeze Campers. It's really been an eye-opener for us in terms of helping us make a decision as to whether a bigger van is right for us to change from our current California, and also whether the Grand California is the right van for us to change to. But even if you're just looking for a nice weekend away in self-contained luxurious comfort, it's a really great thing to do. So having arrived back in Salisbury, just needed to do a few checks before we take the van back to Breeze Campers this morning. We needed to empty out and drain the grey waste, empty out and drain the fresh water that we didn't use, and the top job at the end of any camping trip in a van like this, I guess, is probably cleaning out the toilet, which is not great, but it's a job that's got to be done, and I've done it. So now everything's all done and tip top, we'll take it back to the dealership. Shafi and the team can check it over, and all being well, I'll get my £1,500 deposit back. So we've had a great few days away in this van. If you check out the Breeze Campers website, there's details of all the vehicles they've got on their fleet and the tariffs for hiring them. This van for a long weekend came in at just around about £500. Obviously that varies depending on what time of year it is, whether it's high season or low season. They've also got the little incentive that if you end up buying a vehicle from them, it doesn't have to be a Grand California, it could be any other vehicle, then they will give you a contribution back towards the rental of that camper van at the moment. So if you take out a hire on a vehicle, just check with the guys at the time and they'll let you know what you may be able to claim towards the purchase of another van. So there was a deposit to pay, an insurance deposit, which is usual. So when we take the van back and it all gets checked over, hopefully there'll be no damage picked up that wasn't there when we collected the van, and then we'll get that money refunded in full. And then all we have to do is look forward to the next time we get to go away in a camper van. So if you want to find out more, I've popped a link in the description to Breeze Campers. Check out their website. You can see the vehicles that they've got available, not just Grand Californias, they've also got some regular Californias on their fleet as well. Drop a line to Shafi and his team, and I'm sure they'll do a great job in looking after you. I said, this isn't sponsored by them, I paid for this experience using my own hard-earned cash, and it's been well worth doing. So we've really enjoyed it. It's been a great few days, and it really has taught us a lot about living with a bigger van and whether this van would be the right van for us to buy going forward. Thanks very much indeed for watching. Please remember to hit the button to like and subscribe if you want to follow the channel, and look forward to hopefully seeing you on the next video very soon. Oh, and if you haven't seen it already, there's a link here to check out what we got up to away in the Gower Peninsula whilst we were enjoying this fantastic Grand California. Okay, so we're back at the Breeze Van Centre in Portsmouth to drop the Grand California off. Really enjoyed the experience of renting it over the last few days. It's been absolutely fantastic. So just go and get it checked back in, and thanks very much again for watching.